What is up, guys? NinjaNick333. We are back with another round of the League Cup in Clifton Park, New York at Flipside Gaming. We have Savi on the left again, as well as Tori here on the right. This will be a Gardevoir mirror. We do have the Mewtwo V-Union version on the left versus just the standard version on the right. Looks like Savi does win the coin flip, so he is able to go first. That's definitely what you want to see in a Gardevoir EX mirror. Also, if he is able to assemble the Mewtwo V-Union, he should be favored because, you know, there could be a potential for multiple Ralts to be in play, or the Mew, as well as just, you know, if you are to accelerate energy to your Pokemon, you are damaging them, so you could always Side Explosion and knock out two Pokemon like a Zacian and a full HP Shining Arcana Gardevoir, both at the same time. So, you know, that is something that Savi is going to be trying to do. If you guys saw the last round, Savi was not able to set up the Mewtwo V-Union, so it will be a little hard to do because he spent the whole game trying to set up Mewtwo V-Union, but he's really hoping that he's going to be able to do it this time, I'm sure. I do remember, I think I watched most of this game live, if I'm remembering correctly, because I did get the bye this round. I was 1-2, I got the bye, ended up 2-2. It was a rough day for me. Although all days in this format are rough. I was like winning and I was like top 4ing every single tournament that I went to, no matter the size, for the entirety of the Crown Zenith and Silver Tempest format with Lugia. And then they just pooped all over that deck, and now there are no decks in the format that are as consistent and powerful as that deck after rotation. It's really unfortunate. A Stage 2 deck like Gardevoir being one of the most consistent and powerful decks in the format is pretty concerning right now, especially since there are still decks like Mew VMAX that barely have to do anything in order to get going, but are just super weak to Drapion. The format as a whole feels pretty volatile and not as skill intensive as it should be, so a lot of us have been pretty frustrated with the format. We're really hoping that Paldea Evolve fixes some problems. I am really much a fan of Chien-Pao. I have not played a single game with it yet, but I'm hoping that it reminds me of Blastoise decks. I loved Keldeo Blastoise. Archie-Stoise as well. Those were always fun decks to play. I love just slapping down energies and going blar and blowing things up in one hit. That's my kind of deck. So we get 2 Ralts into play onto the bench, as well as a Mew in our active spot. We got 1 Mewtwo V-Union piece, as well as 1 Psychic Energy into the discard pile. So not the worst start from Savi, but of course not the best. If you're in a Gardevoir mirror, you really feel like you have to get the Battle VIP pass turn. It would have been really great to hit that off of the Mew. But Tori here, he's going to hit that Battle VIP pass, so he's going to get 2 Ralts into play here as well. You see him shuffling the deck here, so that is showing that he doesn't have any more search cards. Otherwise, he would be saving time by doing that. Going for that right now. He's probably going to maybe play a draw supporter like a research, I would hope. Draw into a whole bunch of stuff. Get fully set up. We will just have to see. What does he have in hand here? We do have the Mew. We can retreat into the Mew and use its ability. Find another Battle VIP pass maybe. Oh, he's got a 3rd Ralts just raw in his hand. So he doesn't even need Battle VIP pass. Even like a level ball would get you there. And a research as well. Oh my. Does have to get rid of a Shining Arcana Gardevoir. That is a little bit unfortunate, as well as looks like he discarded another Pokemon as well. I can't really see what that is. Well, I'm sure we'll find out in a future turn. So we are going to retreat into the Mew. We are going to use Mysterious Tail to look at the top 6 cards of our deck, choose an item card, put it in our hand, very reminiscent of the Jirachi that we used to have previously that would skateboard all around the board, getting all sorts of trainer cards to your hand, but it only looked at the top 5. But it did get any trainer, so both better and worse at the same time. So we're going to find a Fog Crystal here. We're going to be able to use that to find either another Ralts or a Psychic Energy. I like the search of the extra Ralts. That guarantees that you have all 4 in play. Savi is not going to be able to take a knockout on his second turn, most likely. If he has Rare Candy Gardevoir EX, I suppose he could, but he would be knocking out the Mew. So you still feel pretty good, even if that were to happen. Having all 4 of those Ralts in play, you can get the whole Kirlia Brigade potentially on turn 2. So that research being pretty good here. We do have at least one Kirlia. It looks like 2 Kirlias in hand, as well as is that an Ultra Ball. So he'll be able to have at least 3 Kirlias going into this next turn, as long as his hand isn't like judged away or something. I don't know if Savi even plays Judge. So we are going to level ball here for a Kirlia here on Savi's side on the left. We're going to be able to evolve one of our 2 Ralts, probably the Mirage Step Ralts, or the Memory Skip Ralts is the one I'm trying to say. We are going to use Mew as well, find a level ball, use that to get a Ralts as well. I'm not sure if getting the Ralts is correct. I think maybe getting another Kirlia, unless it's already in hand. Then you could evolve 2 Kirlia at the same time. Getting Kirlia with Level Ball feels better than getting Ralts with Level Ball, because you can always get Ralts off of Fog Crystal, and you can't get Kirlia off of Fog Crystal. So I'm not sure if that was... Oh, he does have double Kirlia in hand. So yeah, definitely correct getting the Ralts here. We are going to use our first Kirlia. Is probably going to get rid of the Roxanne, I would assume. Yep. Going to get rid of the Roxanne to draw 2 cards. We do get the Radiant Greninja. We can use the next Kirlia. I think you get rid of the Clara, but it looks like we're going to get rid of the Ultra Ball. I mean, that's fine. We are going to also Fog Crystal and Level Ball again, so we're going to get a Psychic Energy as well as another Ralts, most likely here. Oh no, we're going to go for the next Kirlia. You can't play that this turn, so... Okay, there's the Ralts. So yeah, So Savi, a little bit more staggered than Tori's start, but still almost as good. Not really much you could ask out of this start here, so I would just bench that Ralts. And you could attach an energy to a Kirlia if you wanted to. You could attach the energy to Radiant Greninja. Or you could just hold the energy to use for Refinement next turn. I think any of those are just fine. So yeah, just choose to pass. I like that. Again, you could always use... Or you could use it for concealed cards. And then you still have the refinements available to you. So Tori is going to double evolve Kirlias. He's going to use the first one to discard a Psychic Energy and draw 2. Or I think maybe he's used 2 already, because he has 2 of them tapped. That was fast. Finds the third one. Still has that Ultra Ball in hand. He could always Ultra Ball for the 4th one. Or he could just high roll it and find his way into a Gardevoir EX. And a Rare Candy. He could always use the Ultra Ball for the Gardevoir EX. So I think, yep, using the Kirlia first is correct. Does get a Battle VIP pass, and I think it was another energy. You could Ultra Ball here for the Kirlia since you don't have the Rare Candy. Looks like we're going to choose to use the Mew first. I suppose if you get Fog Crystal, then that's another good discard you can get. So it does find the Fog Crystal. So is going to get the Psychic Energy off of that. We will be able to discard that. So even though Tori doesn't have the Radiant Greninja like Savi does, his start is pretty good. Yeah, the only downside to Tori's start here was starting the Cresselia. Oh, looks like it was double Shining Arcana Gardevoir that he had to discard off of that research, but does have the Miriam, so he is able to shuffle those back in. Tori is drawing extremely high. I wish I drew like this with Gardevoir. Holy crap. If I drew like this with Gardevoir, I think I would win friggin' regionals, man. I swear to God. This is what Henry Brand must have been doing the entire time. I don't know how Gardevoir can win a regional, in all honesty. It just feels so clunky. So Savi decides not to cut, doing the choose your own fate route. Redraws into one of the Gardevoirs. Unfortunately, again, still does not have the rare candy, so he can just Ultra Ball, get rid of the Battle VIP Pass as well as one of the Psychic Energies is perfectly fine. Still has an attachment for a turn, can just attach to, I think maybe the Cresselia would be the choice, because if Savi is able to take a knockout this turn, he's going to knock out the Mew, and you could always Psychic Embrace to the active next turn anyway, so, I mean, I guess either way, you could always do either the Cresselia or the Mew. I don't think it matters, but it should go to one of them. So we do finally see that Ultra Ball for the Kirlia, as I explained before was likely going to happen. Leaving that Miriam out just to remember that we've played a supporter this turn. I do like that. Old Pokemon rules, there was a time in Pokemon where supporters did stay in play after you played them and discarded at the end of the turn. We're going to attach a Sky Seal Stone to the Mew. Oh, I remember this. I was sitting next to them at this point, and Savi's nephew is there, and he's playing, like, TikTok memes or something super loud on his phone and, like, disturbing the peace, and, like, other people in the tournament are, like, quoting the... basically Vine quotes. It's like Vine quotes. He just goes over there and is like, turn it down. I'm pretty sure Savi couldn't even concentrate because of it. So we are going to Level Ball here for a Manaphy. Don't need that in this matchup, but of course just use it to thin your deck. You already have all of the Ralts and all of the Kirlia in play, so there's really nothing else that you can search for with that Level Ball, so might as well grab the Manaphy just to thin. You can always discard that with Refinement on the next turn. Tori will be able to draw 8 cards just off the Kirlias, and then even more as he evolves into Shining Arcana Gardevoir. So again, this is the God setup. You love to see it. If Mew gets discarded, even with that Sky Seal Stone on it, doesn't matter because he's not playing against any V-Maxes or V-Stars, so there is no benefit to the Sky Seal Stone. He could keep it in hand to use for Refinement, but he's got so many cards in hand. Again, he has that Manaphy he just searched out, so there's so many better options to discard for Refinement here. So thinning it out by attaching it to that Mew was the best way to do it. So Savi, unfortunately, only has 4 cards in hand. Does draw the Judge for a turn, it looks like. Has 4 Seal Stone now, but no room to even bench a Zacian, so can't really use that yet. We're going to Refinement, getting rid of another Psychic Energy, drawing another 2 cards. And it would feel really good and really bad to Judge here because, of course, Tori does have a ton of cards in hand, but also, again, he's going to be drawing at least 8 cards on his next turn, plus a draw for turn. He's going to be seeing 9 cards deep into his deck. Is the Judge really going to matter? So we do see the Pal Pad is coming out here from the Mew, is going to shuffle back in a couple of supporters, that Roxanne and a Boss's Orders. So Savi will have the option of those again in this game. So of course, if there's a point where he can like boss up a Gardevoir EX and maybe, you know, maybe the other one is prized for Tori, he's already used his Miriam. That could put Savi in a bit of a beneficial position, so definitely want to see that boss. And of course the Roxanne late in the game when all those Kirlias end up evolving into Gardevoirs. After 1 or 2 of them gets knocked out, you can Roxanne, and then Tori is not going to have too many cards available to him. But Tori should be able to thin his deck enough so that only the good cards are in there, so that the Roxanne might not matter too much. But of course, 2 cards in a deck like this can be pretty detrimental, unlike in Mew, where you can just draw until you have 6 cards. So Savi's considering playing Peonia or playing Judge. Looks like he goes for the Peonia. Grabs a Mewtwo V-Union piece as well as a Zacian V and a Battle VIP Pass. So he's going to put back the Battle Pass. I think you put in the Forest Seal Stone and the Fog Crystal, I think would be correct. Either that or the Rare Candy. But it looks like he's going to choose the Clara. And there's the Forest Seal Stone. Yeah, I don't like the Clara being put back there. And also, you got to remember exactly where it is. So Clara is that middle prize on the bottom. The other two cards are pretty much irrelevant, so you could always just take from your top prize cards if you're not looking for the Clara. So, Fog Crystal, gonna get a Psychic Energy. Big surprise. Savi accidentally throwing his cards on top of his prize cards. Fixing that pretty easily. And just a pass of the turn, does not have any Gardevoirs available to him. Really unfortunate that he did not have that great at draws. But at least he got a Mewtwo V-Union piece out of his prize cards here. So hopefully the remaining 2 are in his deck, because there is 1 in discard already. So 1 in discard, 1 in hand, hopefully 2 in deck. If he wants to, you know, summon Exodia. So Tori's using his refinements here. Going to get rid of Rare Candy, since, of course, all his Pokemon are Curlias. Rare Candy, not super useful here. He's got a bunch of energy in the discard. Looks like at least 5, maybe 6. Does not have any room in play to even play Zacian, which is kind of funny. But Gardevoir EX is probably your best attacker here anyway. Because how is Savi going to one-shot that? It's going to be pretty hard, I think. He's only got a couple of Psychic Energies in the discard pile, I think. Again, Tori just drawing a whole bunch of cards. That is, his hand is about the size of his deck right now. Equal parts hand and deck right now. He's going to use the Mew as well to dig a little bit deeper. There is a Fog Crystal, so we're going to use that to get a Psychic Energy. And of course, the Psychic Energy that he wants has been in that Mysterious Tail top 6 the last couple of times he's played the Fog Crystal. So it's really nice that you can just shortcut it and take the one that was in there and then just shuffle all the rest back. So Tori, of course, tons of options in his hand, tons of cards in his hand. He is going to... Oh, yeah, Tori's going to attack with the Cresselia. That's right. So this is Tori's best option right here. So even though starting with the Cresselia seemed like it was the worst start, it's actually coming in really clutch here because Savi has so many low HP Pokemon. So likely going to be trying to get rid of a Kirlia here. So even getting the Collapse Stadium, he's going to discard his own Mew, which is perfectly fine. And now Savi needs to discard either the Radiant Greninja or one of the Ralts. And that is crippling to Savi's board. This is a huge turn for Tori. And this is why Collapse Stadium is so good in the Gardevoir decks. I think if you're playing Gardevoir, you should be playing 2 Collapse Stadium and either Champions Festival or Temple of Sinnoh as the 3rd. And then also Worker. It's fine to play just 3 in any combination of those cards, but I really like the 4. It's hard to fit in though. So we are going to see 4 Psychic Embraces. So that's going to put 20 damage on each one of those Pokemon. And Cresselia is, you know, Tori's not even bothering putting it out because we are all aware that those damage counters are going to go there. Tori was about to put them out just for the camera, but I mean, you know, they've accepted that we all know what's going to happen. So that Cresselia is going to use the first attack, the Moonglow Reverse. It's going to move that 80 damage to the Kirlia and knock it out. So yeah, now Savi's board has been pretty crippled. He needs a way to get to his Gardevoir EX and hopefully the Mewtwo V-Union as well. So we're going to Fog Crystal here. We're going to get another Psychic Energy. Just going to thin the deck as much as we can. He's got the Research in there. It would be good for Savi to be able to maybe attack with the Gardevoir EX this turn. It has the most HP. But again, really want to see that Mewtwo V-Union here. So can't play his own Collapse Stadium. Looks like he's going to choose to attach for turn to the Mew. I mean, I think that's fine. Just choosing not to damage it. The other cards in your hand are not super relevant. So we do get another Kirlia, so we can use its ability again. So we do have another Mewtwo V-Union piece as well. So we will get the 3rd in the discard pile there. And at this point, I'm fairly sure that Savi had another Mewtwo V-Union in his final 3 prize cards, so he ended up prizing 2 this game, was able to take 1 off the Peonia. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't think I see it in there. I can't remember. I want to say he prized it and it was in his top 3, but I can't remember. When Savi pointed to those top 3 prize cards, I think that's what he was saying. So we do get the Gardevoir EX, so we are able to Psychic Embrace now. We really don't want to attack with the Zacian if we can avoid it. Savi also does not have a lot of energy in his discard pile either. So, I mean, if I'm Savi, I just retreat into the Gardevoir, take the knockout on the Cresselia. Feel a little bad about it. Oh no, he does have the last Mewtwo V-Union piece. Okay, I thought he prized that for some reason. So then he got lucky off his Peonia. He saw the 1 Mewtwo V-Union piece that was in there. So this could actually be really good on a future turn, being able to attack with that, because he could always knock out 2 Curlias at the same time. Tori could always choose not to evolve those Curlias on purpose because, you know, refinement being so good, not only drawing you 2 cards, but thinning your hand of a card in case you get judged or Roxanned, which we know Savi is going to want to Roxanne in the future. He did shuffle that back in with his Pal Pad. You see he did redraw the boss's orders. He could always do that too. I don't think did he play a supporter yet? Was the research played this turn? I know he didn't play the worker. Yeah, I think he played a research this turn. I can't remember. I can't remember if he played a supporter or not. Okay, he clearly did, because he would have bossed up one of those Curlias or the Shining Arcana Gardevoir and taken the knockout there instead. Because that would have been more correct. You know, Tori could always attack with Moonglow Reverse again, knocking out another Curlia. But then the energies are spreading too wide on Tori's board if he were to do that. So it could be possible that Tori would not be able to take certain knockouts later. So Tori drawing until he has, it looks like 3 cards remaining in deck now. His hand is absolutely huge. It's ridiculous. He has pretty much every option he could ever want in his hand right now. So what does Tori want to do here? I think maybe attack with the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. How many does he need on it to knock out? So there's 60 damage on the Gardevoir EX, because all of those came from Psychic Embrace. He attached the Mew for turn. So he's remaining 250 remaining. So he'd have to do, let's see, 190. He'd need 7 energy. So he's going to attach for a turn. And then he should have the energy he needs in the discard pile to one-shot. So all he needs to do is Psychic Embrace to his active, retreat it into the other Gardevoir, Psychic Embrace to that. He should have 4 energy in his discard pile by now, right? He does have quite a bit spread out. Yeah, he has 5 energy still left, so that is huge. And he's going to play Judge. He's going to shuffle his own massive hand back into the deck. I suppose that's fine. You don't really need anything else at this point. Just putting those back in gives you the opportunity to refinement away more cards. Also, his deck is super thin at this point, even with that anyway. So, still has that refinement available to him, I do believe. Draws into the Roxanne, too. He could always Roxanne as soon as Savi takes 2 more prize cards. So, it looks like we are going to discard that rare candy for refinement to draw 2 more cards. So yeah, I think that Tori here is able to just go for that whole big Psychic Embrace. Yeah, so he has 5. Just needs 4 on the Gardevoir. Because that would be 7 times 3 is 210, 270. So that would be a total of 330 damage on the Gardevoir after the attack, including the 60 that's on it. So we Psychic Embrace 1 to the active, retreat the 2 off the Kirlia. And now we have 6 energy cards in the discard pile, so again, more than enough. So I think you just put the 4 on that you need, leave the other 2 in the discard pile in case like your Gardevoir EX that doesn't have any energy gets bossed up. That won't be a way for Savi to stall, because sometimes these Gardevoir decks can lose to just having all of their energies on one Pokemon and then having a boss on a Gardevoir EX and not being able to retreat. So keeping those 2 energies in the discard pile is exactly what you want to see here. Looks like we might also have a Pal Pad. He just put a Research, I believe, and a Miriam to the top of his discard pile. Thinking about playing that. Or maybe just planning for a future turn. And takes the Knockout for 2 prize cards. So, I mean, Savi still made the correct play attacking with the Gardevoir EX, but it's just unfortunate that Tori just had everything that he needed to take a one-shot on that 2 prize Pokemon with such massive HP. And at this point, it's looking like I don't know if Savi can come back from this. He is really going to have to find a way to set up Mewtwo V Union. So he's used 2... Okay, so the big thing from Tori here is he judged the Mewtwo V Union piece back into Savi's deck, and he just drew it off of the last refinement. So just like in the previous game, Savi getting the last Mewtwo V Union piece that he needs to discard with refinement off the draw for the refinement instead. So now if Savi wants to get that in the discard pile, he's going to have to play the Professor's Research. And... oh, he doesn't even have the Gardevoir EX either. That's what he prized this game. So he has the Clara that he put back in his prize cards from the Peonia, but also he prized a Gardevoir EX. So as soon as that first Gardevoir EX got knocked out, he had no way to put energies into play from the discard pile, so he ended up losing the game. So it was a little unfortunate there. So in this tournament, the 2-1s did end up having to play it out. Or at least this specific table did, because of the amount of people that could have possibly bubbled. It's really weird when you have the smaller league cups like this. So, unfortunately, these 2-1s had to play. Tori is now guaranteed for top cut. It would have been off resistance, and Savi's resistance was a lot better than Tori's, so I do believe that Savi would have made it into cut if they ID'd and Tori would have made it out. So at least it's good to see that playing it out did allow Tori his chance to make it in. So that is it for the final round of Swiss. We will get into top 4 in the next match. So guys, make sure you subscribe to be able to see that when that comes live. You know, there's a notification bell if you even want to be notified when stuff goes live. But it's usually around midnight, so when I like to post my videos. And check out that description box down below for links to the Discord and all of those socials and the merch store and all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next time. Yeah.